Good afternoon, and welcome to the White Coat ceremony for the Nova Southeastern University PA program, Fort Myers. This ceremony is dedicated to the class of 2017. Thank you for coming to this important and meaningful event. We're proud to have a distinguished speaker here tonight, this afternoon for this ceremony, and we'll be introducing her shortly. Also, and our speaker is Gloria Stewart, Dr. Gloria Stewart. Also sitting here we have Professor Albert Coombs, our clinical director. Come on. Dr. David King, our anatomy and physiology professor. Professor Janet Sparker. Dr. Stephanie Anderson. Dr. Fred Miola, our medical director. Dr. Nelson Guzman. Dr. Catherine Knudsen. And Professor Robert Hawks. Let's talk a bit about the significance of this event, the white coat. Think about the power of the white coat. A century ago, the white coat evolved as symbolic of the medical arts practiced in hospitals, operating theaters, laboratories, and elsewhere. White was chosen as the appropriate color for those promoting health and often holding others' lives in their hands. The historians point out that white cotton was the material of choice, and that cleaning in boiling water was as much a practical way of preserving sanitary conditions as it was to demonstrate a commitment to patients. The white coat became a symbol of purity and of the awesome responsibility assumed by those pursuing careers in medicine. Try to imagine the reaction of a room full of patients if a clinician walked in with a purple coat or a red coat. The result just wouldn't quite be the same. The white coat can quell the fears of worried patients, lift the burdens of unsure nurses. To the patient, it means helping. To the person donning the white coat, it means purity, integrity, and altruism. The feeling that your white coat will invoke in your patients will often be profound, and you must never forget your responsibility in donning it each day. While the symbolism is old, the ceremony is not, and it's only been observed formally since the first white coat ceremony at commencement exercises at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons in 1993. When I graduated in the Dark Ages, we did not have a white coat ceremony, so this is something that's newer. Two of the senior trustees of the university regularly attended graduation exercises at Columbia, where it was customary for medical students to recite the Hippocratic Oath, obligating new physicians to high professional standards for patient care and the practice of medicine. These trustees noted that this recitation of the oath really came 4 years too late. For it's during medical school that students experience their initial contacts with patients and establish their professional orientation. The Columbia University Foundation believed that medical students should be given well-defined guidelines regarding the expectations and responsibilities appropriate for the medical profession at the outset of their education and training. This is what inspired the Gold Foundation to begin advocacy and sponsorship of what has now become the White Coat Ceremony, initially for physicians and now for a variety of others practicing the healing arts. Providing a ritual to mark the passage of students into our medical society is as old as the Hippocratic Oath itself. This oath was written in the 5th century BC. By the time of the Roman Empire, it had come to define the ethics of medicine and was codified and honored by the priests or physicians of the Middle Ages. And thus it was transmitted to us today. Through the modern crucible of the world wars, it has been variously modified but retains the same key provisions. All the following are verbatim quotes from the Greek original. Teach them this art if they desire to learn it without fee and covenant. I will keep them from harm and injustice. In purity and holiness, I will guard my life and my art. What I may see or hear, I will keep to myself. This oath remains a touchstone for the profession. History, however, reveals, interestingly enough, that Hippocrates himself administered his famous oath to students before their medical studies began, not after they were completed. There are other traditions or protocols regarding the white coat. One is that while a student, yours is the short jacket. This will be most noticeable during your clinical training when the attending and preceptors will likely wear the long coats, just like you see on the faculty. This afternoon, each of you will don a white coat and will then together recite the NSU Physician Assistant Student Oath, pledging to dedicate yourself to lifelong learning as well as to providing competent and compassionate care to all your future patients. So, as you enter this noble profession, please remember to take just a moment each day to think about the symbolism of the white coat and the responsibility that goes along with it. In that brief moment, remember and aspire to those qualities which identify the exceptional healthcare providers among those of the healthcare team with whom we associate. This isn't a symbol that you have arrived, but that you've just begun your journey that you'll be on for the rest of your professional life. As you touch the lives of those you care for, you'll be continually blessed with the qualities symbolized by the white coat you proudly wear. At this time, I'd like to turn the podium over to Dr. Nelson Guzman, Assistant Professor and alumnus.
It is my pleasure and honor to introduce today's keynote speaker. This distinguished PA has over 40 years' experience
In a few minutes, Professor Robert Hawks will start calling the members of the class of 2017 up to receive their coats. As each of you receives your white coat, think on these thoughts. As you put your right arm into the coat, pray for clarity of thoughts as you care for others. With your left arm, pray for the appropriate change in the lifestyles of those in your care that will lead to improved health. With that first button, pray that you may be able to give something back to your families and community. With the second button, pray for humor. You're going to need it. With that last button, aspire for the compassion and understanding to allow you to provide 100% attention and consideration to those in your care. Professor Hawks will call each student's name. The student will come up and receive his or her coat from the class officers and members of the class of 2016. By the way, I want to thank all of you for helping out. Thank you very much. And then proceed to receive congratulations from our faculty and guests. Once all students have received their coats, the faculty and students will then recite the NSU Physician Assistant Student Oath together as led by Professor Sparker.
hold as our ideal the care and treatment of all of our patients. From them we learn. We hold as our ideal the advancement of knowledge. Through it, disease will be understood, prevented, and cured. We solemnly pledge our faith to this oath and our assistance to others who do the same.
This oath, and do not violate it. May it be granted to me to enjoy life and art, being honored with fame among all men for all time to come. If I transgress it and swear falsely, may the opposite of all this be my lot.